So now that you know how jobs work and abilities work in detail, I'm just going to run through the portfolio one more time. This is mainly for strategists only, just so you really understand how to make use of all the features here. So first of all, your loan principal and your loan installment. As you can see, it's telling you to go see the loan manager to find out more. So to do that, you're going to jump over into the civic sector, talk to this loan manager, who may or may not be in the game, of course. And the loan manager's ability is to provide loans to any player. So you're going to record the loan that you're taking out. You're going to get a bunch of extra money. You're going to write down how much money you've taken, and you're going to write down there how much you have to pay back every single chapter. I'll also flag up while I'm here that the action for the loan manager is simply that you summon the host, me, to perform this job, because this is more complicated. There's no automatic way to do this. So I will just come along and play the loan manager and give you that loan if you need to. And loans are a really important way to get anywhere in this game. You need a loan probably to get a degree. You need a loan to buy a car. You need a loan to get a house. And you just aren't going to have enough money to do that, unless you get an amazing inheritance or something. But that's just let's not bank on that hope. Next of all, here's the retirement fund. The retirement fund is really crucial. As mentioned, it's basically an end of game massive bonus that can really add to your total quality of life, because it represents everything that you do post the age of 66. So if you want to get a retirement fund, you're going to want to hop over here and see the retirement planner, who will give you access to the list of possible retirement funds, which basically give you different points in different kinds of ways. And the earlier you do that in the game, potentially the better retirement fund you can get your hands on. But on the flip side, the different retirement options depend on what kind of life you've led and what really turns out to matter to your character. So you might want to wait until later and figure out what that actually is. Property, as I've mentioned already, the main kinds of property you get, which is sort of permanent property that you keep throughout the game, are vehicles and real estate. So I've already covered that you can come over to the auto dealer to get a vehicle, which allows you to unlock jobs, extra jobs simultaneously. And then the realtor is here and will allow you to buy a house. And that solves your lodging problem for the rest of the game. You won't have to rent anymore. The status box. The main things that go in the status box are mental illnesses, as I've covered already. But the other thing that might go in here are degrees. Degrees are super important. There are many jobs in the game that require you to get a degree. Now, I focused on the service sector so far, where there are no degree requirements. But coming over here to the civic sector, which I will get into in more detail, these are the more kind of high-paid professional jobs that can do a lot more powerful and unique things in the game. But they tend to require degrees. As you can see down here, this therapist job requires a medical degree. This reporter job requires a media degree. This attorney job requires a law degree. So to get any degree in the game, you're going to have to first actually talk to the dean, who's right here. The dean's unique ability is, of course, to make players into students. And if they do decide to make you into a student, you're going to be able to take this special role over here of student, which you're going to spend one chapter, 4 years, getting that degree. First, you get a regular degree. Then if you go back and become a student a second time, you can get one of those fancy degrees that is listed, like medical, law, business, finance, or media, or theology. And you can even come back and get a third degree if you're feeling really fancy. And if you have a PhD, you can do very silly things. So any degree that you have will end up in your status box, and that will unlock most of the more powerful and high-level jobs in the game. Next up, let's look at this family in more detail. Again, there's still references explaining what you need to do to actually do these things. So to get a spouse, step one, of course, is to find someone who's willing to be your spouse, which can be a challenge at times. But if you do that, you can then both head over and talk to the pastor over here, whose unique ability is to marry people together. Likewise, if you've got a spouse already, now maybe you want some children. Children are great at giving your life that extra sense of meaning, although they do come with considerable costs. So don't jump into this without thinking it through carefully. If you do want children, you've got to go over here and see this doctor, of course. And then finally, if you want to kind of unlock some of the benefits and quality of life improvements of children, but you don't quite want that commitment, you can have a pet instead. And the pets are available over here in services from the pet store manager. While I'm here, I will just quickly cover that once you are a family, you do get certain perks, and the perks are actually covered here on this little rules sheet. So for one thing, if you get married, then you now collectively only need to provide one lodging. So whereas previously you had to provide one lodging each, you now, oh, hang on, that's not even true. No, I just made that up. Sorry, cancel that. What I meant to say was that if you get married, you still have to provide 2 lodgings between you, but it's now up to both of you to do that together. If you get a child, you will need to add 1 food and 1 lodging to your total lodging and food needs, so they're quite expensive to maintain. Pets, on the other hand, they don't require extra lodging, they just require 1 food. So it's a bit easier to look after that pet. Because if you fail to meet your food needs or your lodging needs, even if it's just for your child or your pet, then guess what? You still get that trauma, not a good time. And if you fail to provide lodging for your children, you're still going to end up as a vagrant, so that's sad. But the good news is, with your spouse, you're now jointly responsible. So you share that food need and that lodging need. But on the flip side, if you fail to meet that between you, then you both take that trauma or you both take that vagrant effect. So that's a bad time. That's all. As you can see, it is covered in these family rules sheet, which you will have.